When we're dealing with our study islands, it's often a good idea to check out the lesson because it pops up with all kinds of cool things, and I want you to pull this up. We're going to talk about the highlights, but there are tons of rules and examples to follow here. So if I go too fast on this video, I want you to be sure to go back into the lesson and look this up. So let's pick up where we left off. Quadrilaterals. Again, quad means four sides. Some things that we want to for sure know is every quadrilateral has 360 degrees in it. And take a minute to review all of the shapes. Trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. An isosceles triangle has a pair of parallel sides and then two legs that are congruent. And remember what they're marking here, the base angles are always congruent, whether they're the bottom base or the top base angles. Parallelogram has two pairs of parallel sides. This is a real powerful one because we know that opposite angles, like this one, say it's 60, and this one, the opposite angles are always equal. And consecutive angles, like this one here and this one down here, always have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 60 would be 120. So opposite angles are always equal. Consecutive angles always total 180 degrees. And as I mentioned before, take some time to read through all these properties. I'm not going to use your time on a video to do that. But I do want to look at example 1. In the parallelogram below, the measure of angle x equals 110 degrees. So what is the measure of angle z? This one down here. Well, we just talked about that. Opposite angles are equal or congruent, and so they would both be 110 degrees. In example 2, they tell us in this quadrilateral, the measure of angle A is 135, and C is 80, and the measure of angle D is 65. What is the measure of angle B? Now this isn't a parallelogram, so we don't have congruent opposite angles, but we just need to take 360 degrees and subtract 135, and then subtract 65, and then subtract 80. That will give us how many degrees are left for that fourth angle. So when we get done subtracting all of that, we end up with 80 degrees for the missing angle, and it's just a coincidence that C and B are the same on this one. In example 3, they tell us that quadrilateral HIJK has the following measures, and I just transferred them up onto the parallelogram. The question is, what do x and y have to be for this to be a parallelogram? Well, what has to be true is that the opposite sides have to be equal. So we would have 3x plus 18y equals 12, as well as 1/2 x plus 8y equals 17. So we have a system of two equations, and they both have two variables. So we have some options on how to solve this. I'm going to solve using elimination. So what I'm going to do is take my bottom equation, and 8 and 18 aren't multiples of each other. So I'm going to work with the 3 and the 1/2. If I multiplied a half by 6, put 6 halves together, I'd get 3. I'm actually going to make it a -6 so that everything cancels. So up top, I'm going to just repeat 3x plus 18y equals 12. And then when I distribute this -6 all the way through, we get -3x minus 48y equals, and this is great because now when I combine my two equations, the x's cancel. We end up with -30y equals, and 12 minus 102 is -90. So if I divide both sides by -30, y is equal to 2, so that's one of my answers. And then coming back to our problem, I'm going to look at just this top equation. we know that y is 2, so this becomes 3x plus 18 times 2 equals 12. So again, it's just a matter of solving that one. So our answers are y equals 2 and x equals negative 8. And again, the only geometry part was that our opposite sides have to be congruent. They have to be equal. In this next problem, they tell us that this is a rhombus, so we know all the sides are equal. So really, all the sides are 20. And another thing we know about a rhombus is that the diagonals bisect each other. So that means that this part is congruent to that part. So that tells us that 6x minus 8 equals 2x plus 8. I'm just going to solve this equation really quickly. So we've got that our x is equal to 4. So what that means, if I plug 4 in here, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. So I know that each of these diagonals, is 16, not that one there. But we know that the diagonals cut each other in half. The question is, what is the length of segment TU? Well, here's our TU. We don't know it. One thing we do know is that the diagonals make a right triangle in a rhombus. So if we use our Pythagorean theorem, that will get us to the end of the problem. So one of the legs is x, the other one is 16 equals 20 squared. So remember, we want to square, that's a plus. We want to square our numbers first. 16 squared is 256. We'll subtract 256 from both sides. So x squared equals 144. Take the square root of both sides. So here, this x, this part of our trapezoid is 12. So again, the geometry I don't think is the hard part. We're just having to work through lots of algebra. Remember that the diagonals bisect each other and that they're perpendicular. And again, this comes off of that long list of things that you're going to need to read at the top of the page. All these lists of properties that are true. If you still have questions, ask your math teacher or Google quadrilaterals and see what you find out. Good luck on this.